Tigers win game one versus the Guardians last night. We're going to be going over the Mariners' X factors for this playoff series coming up. And then we're going to be covering how the Mariners should line up their rotation. And then finally, I'm going to give you a full recap, all of the game one games. Ah, gosh, I ruined it. All right, guys, how are we doing? Welcome to Mariners Daily, the podcast for the thinking Mariners fan. I'm Sam Edwards, your host. Thank you so much for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. I appreciate it. This is going to be a great episode, and I'm going to give you everything you need to know. First off, wild card game recap for the Tigers versus Guardians. Obviously, the Mariners are going to be playing the winner of this series. The Tigers take game one, 2-1, and the story here is Tarik Skubal. 7 2/3 innings pitched for Tarik, 3 hits given up, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 14 strikeouts. 26 whiffs in total for him. His changeup had a 75 whiff percentage just on the changeup. And then Will Vest came in for an inning and a third to close out the game. Only gave up a hit and got a strikeout. Such a good game across the board, honestly, just as a baseball fan. Such a good game. Gavin Williams on the other side looked very good for the Guardians. 6 innings pitched for him, 5 hits given up, 2 runs, 0 earned, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. The first run was from Harry Carpenter. First off, led off with a single. I believe this was the first inning. Yeah. Uh, he took second base on an error from the right fielder Jonathan Rodriguez, and then Torkelson singled in Carpenter for the game's first run. It was close, man. It's such a close game. We had a beautiful play at the plate for the Guardians scoring their one and only run. Originally, they called them out. It was a blooper over Tarik Skubal's head, which he fielded and then threw home. And thought for a second, I don't know. I was it was close. It was a very close play at the plate. It looked like he got his hand in there. Look at replay, and he did. So they overturned that call. Thankfully for the Guardians, because they do deserve that. It's not like they got shut out. Um, and Gavin Williams looked fantastic. Like I said, the curveball was working, the sweeper was working, and the fastball and sinker were doing their thing. They were really getting the job done. He was absolutely throwing heaters. Fastball was cruising right around 98 miles an hour. But listen, you guys came here to hear about Tarik Skubal. He's the scary one. It's a scary Skubal right here. Maybe that's what I should have said instead of Skubal scary. Ah, whatever. It's in the past. But Tarik Skubal had a historic start for the Tigers here. And this nugget, this little stat nugget, is courtesy of the Nugget chef Jay Hay, Justin Havens. If you're not following him on Twitter, I don't know what you're doing. He's a genius when it comes to baseball stats, and just little nuggets for history's sake, especially. The only starting pitchers to have 14 or more strikeouts and 3 or fewer hits allowed in a postseason game: Tarik Skubal, Tim Lincecum in 2010, Roger Clemens in 2000, Kevin Brown in 2000, um, Kevin Brown in 1998, Livian Hernandez in 1997, Mike Mussina in 1997, and then John Candelario in 1975. Not a bad group to be a part of. Shout out to Tarik Skubal. The changeup was working. The high changeup, he would throw it high to batters, and it would just come right down into the zone. And he was getting those calls all day. They may have been a little bit high. It was kind of hard to tell with the pitch zone, with the strike zone, but they were calling it. They were calling it all day, and that was working for him. The fastball, he was coming out cruising right around 101. He was sitting. It was incredible pitching for Tarik Skubal, and he's definitely scary. I don't know. He's not unbeatable, of course. Nobody is, but he's close, man. He's really, really good, and he's just dominated this entire season. He deserves the Cy Young. and he just continued that with this start. And he wasn't perfect. He did let up that one run, but my goodness, he was all but perfect. All but perfect for Tarek School. Very scary. Going into this series, I was very confused seeing a lot of Mariners fans on Twitter saying they would rather face the Tigers. And if you had listened to yesterday's episode, you would have heard I definitely would rather face the Guardians. I think their offense sucks, and I think we would be able to get the job done versus their pitching. I do think their pitching is very good. Hence, watching Gavin Williams do his thing yesterday and the bullpen be able to hold up that lead. Or no, sorry, just hold up the game. They didn't hold up a lead because they didn't have a lead. But either way, um, they're a good team. But I would so much rather face the Guardians, and I think this game was proof of that. Very much proof of that. I'm not scared of the Tigers either. Yes, Tarek Skubal looks amazing, and we would definitely have to face him at least one start. Um, but I am not scared of them. I don't know. They don't have enough offense to really get me going. We did see Javier Baez get a couple of hits, which was kind of nice to see. See him do stuff in some meaningful games, which this year has kind of been a fun little revival for Javier Baez. But besides that, I don't think yeah, I'm not scared. Not scared of the Tigers. We're fine. We're gonna do fine. Next up, the X factors for the Mariners coming up in this series. Now I think we can do this because listen, I'm all but confident that the Tigers are gonna make this. I think they're gonna beat the Guardians. Don't want to count the eggs before they hatch, but yeah, I'm pretty sure or count the chickens before they hatch. That's the saying. I'm sorry, guys. I'm off. Very off. Haven't yawned yet, which is great. Long listeners of the show know that yawning has been attacking me the past couple of days. So sorry. I don't know what I'm saying. Mariners X Factors, 2 to 3 players that could swing this upcoming series. Kind of difficult to choose. I've got 3 players here. First off, a guy that's been dominating and a key guy, I think, in this rotation, Luis Castillo. September, we've seen him turn it around. 29 and a third innings pitched, 27.6 K percentage, which is a big jump from his season long, I want to say 21% K percentage. Um, 2.9 walk percentage in September, a 2.45 ERA, and a 2.80 FIP. We've seen the fastball locations be on point. Batters are hitting 157 with a 209 X batting average, expected batting average against his four seam. And the slider as well has been absolutely dominant. A 125 batting average, a 128 expected batting average against, and a 125 slugging percentage against the slider in the month of September for Castillo. It's the fastball that allows that slider to get the whiffs that we need. And I know the changeup is not the pitch that we want it to be, and it probably won't be. But as long as he can rely on that four seam up, throw the slider off of it. Here come the odds. There it is. Oh, there it is. Wow. Holy crap. Um, four seam up, slider off of it, and then sinkers when he needs to get some strikes. Perfect. Sprinkle in the changeup very rarely, but sprinkle it in. Used to be the pitch for Castillo, which it is kind of sad. Um, to not see it as, a threat anymore. But he's done absolutely fantastic in September, and he's going to get a lot of key starts this postseason, I think. And we're going to need him to come through and prove that September was not a fluke and that he's still spotting his four seam the way it's supposed to. Next up, Jorge Polanco. He's just been, I mean, you guys know, I covered him, I think last week. I forget when. Um, he's just been so good. He's been so good and just a huge X factor for this offense to rely on, especially for extra bases, man. 93 plate appearances in September. He has 4 home runs in that span of time, an 8.6 walk percentage, and only an 15.1 K percentage for Polanco. And then here's a funny part. So basically, here's a little behind the scenes picture. When I'm making the notes for this show, I am copy and pasting. Okay, so I'm going on Fangraphs, copy and pasting the stats and putting them onto a document just so I can have all my notes in one place and be able to, bold stuff that I especially want to talk about and underline players' names, all that jazz. So I do that with Polanco and I'm typing through and I've done this so much that I just know that, where certain stats are and like what certain stats look like. So I saw 305 and I was like, I don't need to write down his BABIP. I saw 305, so I was like, oh, I don't have to write down his BABIP. So let me just like X that. And then the next number didn't really make sense because it was even higher. And I was like, is that his batting average? No. And I went and checked, and the 305 is his isolated power. He's got a 305 isolated power. Oh my gosh. In the month of September, listen, it's a small sample size, but my goodness. And if you don't know, isolated power is basically just trying to get your pure slugging. So everybody knows that slugging percentage is, your batting average is kind of baked into your slugging percentage. But Isolate Power just wants to subtract the batting average from your slugging percentage so that you can just get what is the isolated power for this player. And a 305 is crazy. He's hitting 329, 380, and 634 for the slugging percentage total in the month of September. Good for a 181 runs created plus in the month of September. He is a key X factor, Jorge Polanco, and we got to see him keep it up. And like I said, pass the baton. Pass the baton to the next guy, to the next guy. And Polanco is one of those guys that allows you to do that. You don't need Gino Suarez to hit the big home run every single time. He will. He will every once in a while. He'll hit that big hit, especially, rewind to the Houston Astros series. He'll get those big hits. But you don't need him to because you've got guys like Polanco. You've got guys like Josh Naylor. You've got obviously the studs of Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez. But you've got a full lineup that can get the job done. And then one last key X factor for the Mariners in the playoffs. And I'm going to say the name and you're going to go, oh, yeah, obviously, but he's going to be fine. Randy Arozarena. Yes, he's got the history. He's got the playoff history to prove that he can get it done when he needs to. And you know what? I'm not too worried about him, but the month of September's been rough for him. 117 plate appearances for Randy in the month of September. 1 home run, 7 stolen bases, a 9.4 walk percentage, a 30.8 K percentage. That's rough. A lot of swings and misses. He's hitting 220, 316 with a 280 slugging percentage in the month of September. And that is all accumulated to an 80 runs created plus. He is 20% worse than the average hitter in the month of September. Randy, we need you. We need you to we come on. We need playoff Randy to come through and for them to go to the World Series to really run the gauntlet of this play of the American League at the very least. They need Randy. They need Randy to come through, and that's the end of that. We need him to be Randy. We need him to be playoff Randy. No, he doesn't have to carry the team, but we need him to be at least average. At least carry the baton to the next player. Get that single, get that walk, whatever it is. Create a little havoc on the base paths. Because he can do it. 7 stolen bases just in September. And he can still walk as well. He almost walked 10% of the time, even when he was striking out so much. So I think he'll be okay. I'm not too worried, but I gotta see it. I gotta see a little bit more. I'm not just banking that he's gonna be a stud in October, which today's the first day of October. Welcome to fall, baby. We can finally open up those, get the rakes out and get the fall playlist on. Randy, we need you. We need October Randy. Next up, how are the Mariners going to line up their rotation for the playoffs? And I think you could go one of two ways here. I don't think it's too debatable. Mm, but there's one debate. There's one debate to have. First off, obviously Brian Wu. Now we've got the luxury of getting a bye through the wild card week to be able to perfectly line up our rotation and be able to rest Brian Wu and hopefully get him into a simulated game before he inevitably goes versus I'm still saying the Tigers. I think the Tigers are going to win the series. I think the Guardians could win game 2, but I think the Tigers will win game 3 and I think they're too good. I still want the Guardians to win because I'd rather face them, but I think the Tigers are better and I think they're going to win. But either way, Ryan Wu should be going game 1. Game 2, this is where it does get a little interesting. I'm going Luis Castillo. He's been, like I said, fantastic in September. Huge X factor for this series. Win that game 2 and just keep the team in the game. And I think Castillo can do that. I think he's proven himself. And he's also, been there, done that. Not that these other names haven't, like I covered in on Monday, I believe. The October experience on this team is pretty it's not a lot of games, but they've been there. They've been there and they've gotten the job done before. And now this is where maybe I'm showing my fear of who's been there before. I'm going George Kirby next and then Logan Gilbert. Let me know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who should be the number 3? Who should be the number 4 in this rotation? I'm going George Kirby. I believe in the skills a little bit more than with Gilbert. Gilbert scares me a little bit. I think it's just because the lack of how deep Gilbert goes in games. And I think that stems from his like the fastball has to be getting strikes and the splitter has to be get swings and misses. And they have been, but I'm not betting on it. It's a little shaky and it doesn't give me the utmost confidence. So I think I'm going Kirby for the number 3 spot and then Gilbert. I think a lot of people could have Gilbert number 2 in the rotation, which listen, I'm not saying there's necessarily a wrong way to go about this, but I would I would challenge you to go look at Gilbert's last start. Go look at Gilbert's last start and tell me you feel extremely confident with him. I think Gilbert can definitely get it done versus the Guardians or Tigers. Not great lineups. I think he could totally get it done. But when it gets to the brass tacks of playing in the championship series versus either the Blue Jays or the Red Sox or Yankees, those lineups are those are going to be a battle. And I'm a little worried with Gilbert, and I'd rather push him off to game 4. So, at least for this series coming up versus most likely the Tigers, give me Gilbert number 4. If we don't have to throw him, we don't have to throw him. If we win the first 3 games, great. If we lose, if we lose one of those games, then okay. For the 4th spot in the rotation, it is a little interesting. I think the plan has been to put Bryce Miller in the bullpen. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're willing to. Maybe there'd be a day off in there, and would be able to go for Game 5. That's possible. Yeah, that's probably what would happen because there would be a day off in between there for travel. Okay. Because originally what I wrote down was Bryce Miller slash maybe Hancock slash like a bullpen game, which has me a little scared, a little worried. But after thinking about it and using logic, which is still on my side, I think. Yeah, even if it's not, I have stats, so that's okay. I think we would go number game 5. So Miller, Hancock, bullpen, those guys will be hopefully well rested enough that, if Kirby's getting roughed up or if Gilbert's missing the zone, then we can emergency bring somebody in and get him out of that situation. Because, yeah, we'll probably need it. All right, finally, we're going to give you a full recap here. The Cubs, the Red Sox, the Dodgers all win. Who's the biggest threat amongst these teams? Let's talk about it. First off, we already covered the Tigers versus the Guardians. Uh, Next up was Cubs versus Padres. The Cubs ended up winning this one 3-1. Matthew Boyd only went 4 1/3 innings pitched for the Cubs, 4 hits given up for 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. And then their bullpen came in and just absolutely shut the door. Daniel Palencia came in for an inning and 2/3 shutout ball. Drew Pomeranz came in, then Andrew Kittredge, and then Brad Keller to shut it out for the rest of the game. And the Padres offense is nothing to be trifled with. They're a good team, and they just could not get it done. The Padres scored first on a Bogarts double, but they couldn't do anything else for the rest of the game. And I'm not saying the Cubs did amazing either, but their bullpen held up that lead. In the fifth inning, Cubs hit back-to-back homers off of Nick Pivetta to get him out of the game. He still pitched very well. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits given up, 2 earned runs, and 9 strikeouts. Jeremiah Estrada in the eighth inning, I believe, only got 2 outs, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk. That was enough. The Cubs didn't need any more. It was Seiya Suzuki and Carson Kelly who hit the back-to-back homers off Pavetta. And if they get Suzuki going, man, it's gonna be. And he's been rolling the past like 6 games. He's got like 6 homers, so kind of crazy. He's getting rolling. The Cubs could be a little scary for the NL, and the Padres just couldn't get anything done. They had a good game, just the offense could not get anything rolling. My goodness. Finally, finally, the Red Sox is not finally. The Red Sox won against the Yankees in a narrow win, like so close. It was a 3-1 win. Garrett Crochet was absolutely dominant. Max Fried was very good as well. Red Sox got a lot of key base running from Eric Sogard. They did absolutely fantastic on the base paths, just squeaking past those 3 runs. And then Garrett Crochet for the Red Sox pitched absolutely fantastic. 7 2/3 innings pitched. Then they bring in Chapman. Chapman closes out the eighth and then comes back out for the ninth. Yankees get 2 quick hits. They get the bases loaded, no outs, and Chapman shuts the door. Absolutely incredible. Not stressful at all. I was rooting for the Red Sox here. I wanted to see the Yankees lose. And it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. An amazing game for the Red Sox. So stressful. I'm not ready for the Mariners to have any of those games. Not ready for it. Not ready for it whatsoever. Very close game for the Red Sox. They take game one. I was pretty convinced the Yankees were going to take this series, so I don't know. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Dodgers beat the Cincinnati Reds 10-5 to shock everyone. No, I'm joking. But even so, everybody expected the Dodgers to win this, so not surprised. Otani leads off the game with a home run. He hit 2 home runs in this game. Teoscar Hernandez hit 2 home runs. Tommy Edman got a home run in there. Blake Snell looked fantastic. 7 innings pitched for him, 4 hits given up, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts versus the Reds. And then Hunter Green on the other side. It just wasn't the start we were hoping for. 3 innings pitched, 6 hits given up, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts for Hunter Green. If the Reds were going to win, they needed to come out hot and they needed to win this first game with their stud on the mound, and they just couldn't get it done. And the bullpen couldn't even hold up the lead. Like, I know it's the Dodgers. It's the freaking Dodgers. Like, I didn't expect the Reds to win this series. I don't think anybody did. And if anybody said that, it was just like they were just gonna be like, well, it's baseball. Like anything can happen. Like, yeah, no. The Dodgers are a powerhouse. And the lineup was rolling. Betts was going. Freeman was going. Muncy wasn't going. He got like 3 strikeouts. But either way, so did Otani. Otani hit 2 home runs and then 3 strikeouts. So listen, anything can happen. Anything can happen in baseball, but the Dodgers looked like pretty confident that they were going to win this series, and I think they will. They take game one, 10-5. We got game twos today. We got Tigers and Guardians going at 1 o'clock again. We got Cubs and Padres at 3, Red Sox and Yankees, Dodgers and Reds, all going today again. So lock in and, keep in mind as you're watching the Guardians and Tigers who we got to face and how we match up. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Mariners Daily. I appreciate it. I'll see you back tomorrow. Have a good one.